11 VET TEC provider listings are live, but one wrong program name can leave you paying the gap. Professor Kowalski is here to help us turn that roster into a decision you can verify before signing anything.
Start with the uncomfortable sentence. VA approval isn't a halo over a school. It attaches to a specific provider listing, location, and named program.
And I disagree. Before we crown that rule, if the school appears on VA's page, why make the veteran play detective? A recognizable provider name should settle the question. Otherwise, the list is performing confidence instead of creating it.
No, the unit is the program listing. The current page names a provider and then names the approved programs beneath it. A campus, delivery method, or course title that isn't listed has not borrowed approval from the logo above it.
That's the first correction. Don't ask whether the school is approved. Ask whether this exact program at this exact location is currently approved for VET TEC 2.0. Put every noun in the question like a card catalog label that has to identify one drawer.
Fine. That one survives. Check the provider and location. Then check the program and current status. Miss one and the answer can point somewhere else.
The word current matters because the list can change. But a screenshot from a recruiter, an old bookmark, or a search result only proves what somebody saw earlier. It doesn't prove what VA shows when you enroll.
So build a tiny verification record. Save the VA result and date checked. Add the exact program title and location. Then record preferred status and the school's written price answer. That record is more useful than glossy promises.
That means one more field: who answered and when. My flat has a laminated grocery split because memory is a terrible audit trail. A training decision that can expose thousands of dollars deserves at least the same discipline.
There are 5 checks in this episode. Verify the exact listing and preferred status. Then verify tuition exposure, enrollment ratio status, and reported outcomes. Each is a separate question. No single badge answers all 5.
That's the open loop then. A school can be approved and preferred while still requiring separate price or ratio answers. It can also be weak on placement. The adjective isn't the decision, the combination is.
Coming up, we'll read the live roster without turning 7 preferred listings and 4 additional provider location listings into a claim VA never made. Let me pause for just a second because this genuinely helps. If you are getting value here, hit that like button, then subscribe and ring the bell. It costs you nothing, and it is the single biggest thing that keeps these videos coming.
Use the VA page itself. I want the roster, not a summary that quietly changes what it counts.
This is the live VA VET TEC 2.0 page captured July 26. The page itself says it was updated July 23, 2026.
Count the labels precisely. There are 7 preferred provider listings. The page then shows 4 additional provider location listings. That isn't necessarily 11 unique corporate providers because a provider can appear by location.
The 7 preferred listings begin with ICOHS College and DSDT College Incorporated. They also include Great Horizons Career Centers and Lakewood University. Training Concepts, Intellectual Point, and Skillspire LLC complete the 7.
And the 4 additional listings, say them, because more providers below is exactly how a viewer loses the location boundary.
A CI Learning in Colorado Springs, Code Platoon in Chicago, a CI Learning in Irving, Texas, and a CI Learning in San Antonio. 3 ACI locations are 3 provider location listings, not 3 invented companies.
Now look beneath the names. VA lists exact programs in cyber and cloud. It also names software development, information technology, and other tracks. The school name is the heading. The approved course title is the answer.
Unless the course is new, a new title needs a fresh check.
Emma, let me stress test that. A listed school launches a brand new artificial intelligence bootcamp tomorrow. Same faculty, same building, same marketing page. Is that exact new bootcamp covered?
Not from those facts, Fenrir. The provider FAQ says an approved program must have operated successfully for at least 1 year. It must be fully delivered by the provider without outsourcing. It must also be non-degree and run 6 to 28 weeks.
So the brand new course can't borrow the older course's listing. You search the exact title in VA's GI Bill comparison tool. If the title or location doesn't match, stop and ask VA and the school before enrolling.
That answer is annoyingly clean. Same provider plus different program equals a fresh verification problem. Same program name plus different location also earns a fresh check.
Save the current result and the date. Then type the program name exactly as the school writes it on the enrollment agreement. Small punctuation differences may be harmless. A different or bundle title isn't something to infer away.
This is rung 8 of our claim letter, extend. You're using an earned education benefit beyond the rating decision, but extension only works when the program identity is exact.
The roster answers who and what today. It doesn't yet answer what you might owe. Preferred status changes that calculation, and the label has a narrower meaning than the sales pitch suggests.
Professor Kowalski is back with us after separating the school from the program. Now we need the number that can reach your bank account.
Preferred sounds like a quality award. Is it actually a price rule, an employment rule, or marketing language VA happens to print?
It has defined program rules. For the learner's tuition exposure, VA's comparison tool says a non-preferred VET TEC provider is subject to the annual private school or non-college degree maximum. Charges above that maximum are the student's responsibility.
For the academic year ending July 31st, 2026, that maximum is $29,920.95. It's dated, not timeless.
The future maximum starts August 1st, 2026. It runs through July 31st, 2027. For that academic year, the private school or non-college degree maximum is $30,908.34.
Preferred provider training programs have no tuition cap under the current comparison tool language. That doesn't make every cost invisible. Ask what VA will pay and what the school charges. Get the net price in writing, including any amount that could remain.
No cap should mean zero owed. That's the headline people will hear. The preferred program has no tuition cap, so the veteran owes nothing.
That's broader than the source. Units matter. The cap rule tells us how VA limits tuition payment. It doesn't let us invent what is included in a school's charge, whether supplies sit outside it, or whether this exact enrollment is certified correctly.
The SAFE question is written and specific. Ask what VA will pay for this exact program and start date. Ask what the school will charge. Then ask for the maximum you could owe across tuition and fees. Include equipment and required materials.
Then ask what happens if VA doesn't pay because the enrollment ratio or program approval isn't accepted. A provider can't solve that risk by charging tuition upfront with a plan to refund you after future VA payments.
There it is. No cap isn't permission to skip the invoice. It's a reason to demand a cleaner one.
Save the response beside the VA result. If the answer changes on the phone, ask for the updated amount by email. A verbal zero and a written balance are not the same evidence.
Preferred status also has an employment meaning. A provider may qualify through at least 70% full-time employment in the trained field within 180 days, a tuition refund guarantee, or both.
But don't jump from preferred to automatic waiver. Preferred status gives the provider an opportunity to apply for an 85-15 enrollment ratio waiver. VA still has to approve that waiver.
So my revised model has two separate boxes, tuition cap and ratio waiver. Preferred affects the first and may open a door on the second. It doesn't merge them.
That is the bankable close. Price treatment and waiver status are separate checks. Carry both forward.
Let's make the lookup reproducible. Open VA's VET TEC 2.0 page first, not a provider's advertisement. Copy the exact program title and location from the current roster.
Why not start in the comparison tool? Fewer clicks. If the tool finds the school, we're done.
Because you want two independent views of the same identity. The roster gives the current approved names. The comparison tool gives the institution and program record used to inspect benefits and tuition treatment.
Search the provider, then match the exact program and location. Compare delivery details and the preferred label. If the program is absent or attached to another site, don't resolve the mismatch yourself.
Ask whom. The recruiter will say yes. Their job is enrollment.
Ask the school for the exact certification basis in writing. Contact VA Education Benefits when the current official tools don't align. Keep the question narrow enough that both VA and the school can give an answer you can check later.
Record the URL and date. Add the program title, location, and status you saw. Then save the school's written answer about the amount you could owe, 5 lines, each one exact.
Unless the ratio answer is vague. Erica, sharpen the ratio question. Are you compliant? Invites a yes. What do we ask instead?
Ask, for my start date and exact program, are you enrolling under the regular VET TEC ratio rule or under a current VA-approved waiver? Please identify which one in writing.
VA's July 21st policy notice matters here. VET TEC has separate enrollment ratio requirements. The familiar fewer than 10 students and 35% exemptions don't automatically carry over just because someone knows them from another education program.
Good. A provider's general GI Bill experience isn't a substitute for the VET TEC rule. Different program, separate ratio question.
If the provider can't answer, pause. A scarce seat isn't improved by becoming an uncertain debt. Before we get to the final 5 questions, we still need to test the provider's outcome story. Missing information can't become your financial risk.
Recheck shortly before the first day. Do it again if the displayed title differs or the start date moved. A location change also demands a fresh check. Your saved result is a record, not a lifetime guarantee.
That is the part I can defend. Verify twice, once before signing and once before training starts. Bureaucracy changes slowly right up until it changes on your date. Approved and affordable still doesn't answer the blunt question, what are the outcomes? A cyber label can cover very different instruction and very different employer access.
Fenrir VA's payment design makes outcomes central. The provider receives 25% when the veteran attends, 25% at completion, and the final 50% after a qualifying employment or education outcome.
That last half isn't a testimonial bonus. It's the largest payment milestone after completion. Ask which outcome the provider expects your program to produce and what documents they use to report it.
Which graduates? Which job titles? Don't accept our graduates get jobs. Ask whether work is full-time or contract. Ask whether it's in the trained field or merely somewhere. A qualifying outcome rate without a denominator is decorative math.
Preferred status can rest on at least 70% full-time employment in the trained field within 180 days. A tuition refund guarantee can also qualify, or the provider can use both. Ask which route supports this designation.
And 70% of what? If the answer is employment, request the numerator and denominator. Ask for the cohort dates and completion count. Then ask for the definition of in-field and whether withdrawals vanish from the denominator. A clean percentage needs a visible population.
If the answer is a refund guarantee, ask for the actual terms before enrollment. What triggers it? What job search actions are required? What deadlines or exclusions could defeat it? The word guarantee isn't the contract.
Participants and providers also report employment or continued education outcomes. Qualifying employment verification lasts 180 days. It lasts 365 days when the provider hires the graduate.
That longer period matters because a provider hiring its own graduate can create a circular success story. VA asks for a full year of retention in that case, not a short internal placement that disappears after the report.
Good safeguard. Now make it personal. Ask for the actual target occupations and starting pay ranges with geography and units. Ask about certification costs and the employers that interviewed recent cohorts. Tech jobs isn't an occupation.
You are testing the path from curriculum to work. Name the skills practiced and portfolio produced. Then identify the certification attempt, interview support, and job title the training is designed to reach.
Then separate placement support from placement results. Resume workshops and mock interviews are services. Full-time in-field jobs retained for the required period are outcomes. Both matter, but they are different rows.
I would also ask what happens after a failed certification attempt. Is a retake included? Does job support continue? A program can look complete on graduation day while the occupational bridge is still missing.
The annual program limit adds urgency without changing the standard. VA says VET TEC 2.0 can pay benefits for up to 4,000 participants in a fiscal year, subject to congressional change.
Scarcity isn't evidence of fit. A limited seat can justify checking promptly. It can't justify skipping program and price checks. Ratio and outcome checks still matter too.
Exactly. Only 4,000 is a reason to move efficiently, not blindly. At the boxing pads, speed without aim is just wasted motion. Fast verification beats fast enrollment.
Professor Kowalski is still with us for the 5 questions to ask before you sign. They turn every field we checked into one call you can make.
But question 1 comes before every promise. What exact program title and location will appear on my enrollment agreement, and where can I match both in VA's current tools?
Question 2. Is that exact program preferred today, and are you using the regular VET TEC enrollment ratio or a current VA-approved waiver for my start date?
Question 3 should make the money impossible to dodge. Ask what the school will charge and what it expects VA to pay. Then ask for the maximum you could owe across tuition and fees. Include equipment and required materials.
Question 4 asks which preferred provider route applies. Is it employment results, a tuition refund guarantee, or both? Request the current supporting terms or outcome data.
So question 5 tests the destination. What occupation does this exact program target? How many recent completers reached full-time in-field work, and how long was that employment verified?
Listen for answers that preserve the nouns. A reply about the school when you asked about the program isn't complete. A reply about job support when you asked about retained employment isn't complete.
And phone-only answers are unfinished. So ask for the answer in writing.
Ask for the program title and status in writing. Include price, ratio basis, and guarantee terms. Polite repetition is cheaper than disputed tuition.
Then compare the written answer with the live roster and comparison tool. If all 3 align, you have a defensible enrollment record. If they conflict, pause and resolve the exact field before signing.
Therefore, use a 1-page grid. Start with program, location, and preferred status. Add ratio or waiver and the school charge. Then add expected VA payment and possible student balance. Finish with outcome cohort and refund terms. Use 3 columns: VA result, school answer, and date checked.
Do not turn the grid into a prediction of employment. It documents what was represented and whether official status matches the transaction. Career results still depend on the market and learner. Geography and occupation matter too.
That caveat improves the decision. We're not promising a job. We're refusing to buy a vague program on the strength of a precise-sounding badge.
A server administrator track should name server administration skills and target roles. A software development track should name its stack, projects, and hiring path. The occupation makes the program testable.
Recheck the annual maximum for the academic year containing your enrollment. $30,908.34 is the future August 2026 through July 2027 maximum, not a permanent VET TEC figure.
Professor Kowalski, thank you. Give us the 1 sentence to keep.
Verify the named program, written price, and measured outcome, not the provider's halo.
If this saved you from signing on a school name alone, like the video and subscribe. Send it to a veteran comparing technology programs. Last question. Which one of the 5 checks would you put in writing first? I'm Professor Erica. Use the live VA record, date every answer, and enroll only when the exact fields agree. Take care.